Rwanda is earning continental recognition for its inclusive approach to financial services, driven by a progressive regulatory framework that fosters both innovation and equity. In an exclusive interview with RBA's Hakuziyaremye, the central bank governor Solaya Hakuziyaremye emphasized that Rwanda's push for digital financial solutions goes beyond technology. It is about expanding access and empowering underserved communities. Hakuziyaremye.
So this summit of the Financial Alliance for Women is the first time it's taking place in Africa, and it was an opportunity for us as Rwanda to launch the Women Entrepreneurs Finance Code. This has been signed by 11 banks in Rwanda, but also the National Bank of Rwanda as regulator, the Ministry of Trade and Industry as policymaker, and then Access to Finance as development partner. And our goal here is one, to learn from our peers from different countries. We have close to 59 countries. What have been the best practices for each country to be able to increase funding for women entrepreneurs, also to close the gender gap in terms of access to credit that we see between women-owned enterprises and women-owned and men-owned enterprises. World Bank estimates that the gender gap in access to finance is close to $6 trillion. And if that gap was closed, that's how much the global GDP would gain. And we've applied that same ratio to Rwanda and said, if we were to increase finance to women entrepreneurs and close the gap that we still see even in our country, we could add up to $700 billion to our GDP. That's 5%. And so that's going to become our target. How do we make sure that our banks increase loans to women-owned enterprises? And how do we track that those increased loans are actually generating measurable economic gains? So as National Bank of Rwanda, our core mandate is price stability and financial system stability. But we've also realized that financial stability cannot only be the only goal. We have to make sure that financial services are accessed by all Rwandans. And we've put in place a dedicated directorate for financial inclusion. Second, the measuring of financial exclusion rates has been fundamental through the FinScope survey, where we participate with Access to Finance Rwanda, Ministry of Finance, and the National Institute of Statistics. And this has allowed the government to put in place targeted interventions, starting with the first FinScope survey of 2008, which showed that only 21% of Rwandans had a bank account. Then that's where Umurenge Circles started. Then, of course, the main revolution has been mobile money and increase of digital financial services. So our role as NBR has been one, to put in place a conducive regulatory environment for microfinance, but also payment system providers, including mobile money operators. Second is intervention to support fintech in our country. Third, financial literacy and digital literacy with programs for women, especially women in rural areas. 2 years ago, we started a program to educate and onboard women in rural areas that do not have access to mobile money services. So far in 4 districts, Nyamasheke, Ruguru, Ngoma, and Rulindo, we have trained 25,000 women and onboarded 5,000 women who had never used mobile money services. And collaboration with mobile network operators, local authorities has been instrumental, and I think that's something we're going to keep working on. So we've heard it best from Her Excellency the First Lady. We have now, in Rwanda, 6 women CEOs in the banking sector, 5 CEOs in the insurance sectors, and leading really the large insurance and banking companies, as well as in microfinance. And as a woman, of course, you cannot be blind to challenges or obstacles that women still face in access to finance. And we don't say it because we are women. There's large evidence to prove that point. And so our commitment is to be our sisters' keepers. As much as we manage those institutions, and the central bank is the same, is the commitment to make sure that we don't have inequality in terms of access to finance in our country. And you asked on the continent, it's true, we only have 3 women central bank governors. There's still progress to do because we have close to 54 central banks on the continent. But I think whether you're a male or female governor, one of your responsibilities is to build sustainable and stable economies and financial systems. And they cannot be sustainable if you're excluding 50% of your population. So I think it's a commitment that any governor of a central bank would have to work on, being a woman or a man.